What these bitches want from a nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the 10 crack commandments. Man can't tell me nothing about this coke. Can't tell me nothing about this crack, this weed, my hustling niggas. Niggas on the corner, I ain't forget you niggas. My triple B niggas. I've been in this game for years. It made me an animal. It's rules to the shit. I wrote me a manual, a step-by-step booklet for you to get your game on track, not your wig pushed back. Un hombre uno, never let no one know how much dough you hold. Cause you know that try to breed jealousy, especially if that man fucked up. Get your ass stuck up. Number two, never let them know your next move. Don't you know bad boys move in silence and violence, taken from your highness. I done squeeze mad clips at these cats for they bricks and chips. Number three, never trust nobody. Your mama set that ass up, properly gassed up, hoodie and masked up. For that fast buck, she be laying in the bushes to light that ass up. Number four, know you've heard this before. Never get high on your own supply. Number five, never sell no crack where you rest at. I don't care if they want an ounce, tell them bounce. Number six, that goddamn credit, let it. You think a crackhead paying you back, shit, get it. Seven, this rule is so underrated. Keep your family and business completely separated. Money and blood don't mix like two dicks and no bitch. Find yourself in serious shit. Number eight, never keep no weight on you. Them cats that squeeze your guns can hold jumps too. Number nine should have been number one to me. If you ain't getting back, stay the fuck with police. If niggas think you're snitching, they ain't trying to listen. They be sitting in your kitchen, waiting to start hitting. Number 10, a strong word called consignment, strictly for live men, not for freshmen. If you ain't got the clientele, say hell no, cause they gon' want their money, rain, sleet, hell, snow. Follow these rules, you'll have mad bread to break up. If not, 24 years on the wake up. Slug hit your temple, watch your frame shake up. Caretaker did your makeup. When you pass, your girl fuck my man Jacob. Heard in 3 weeks she sniffed the whole half a cake up. Heard she suck a good dick, make her look a steak up. Gotta go, more pots to bake up. Word Crack King, Frank Blizzard.
I'm gonna play this one song, then I'm gonna go live. This is for Ryan Cohen and Roaring Kitty, because the media is constantly after them. Let's go. DMX.
Want from a nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
What these bitches want from a nigga. From a nigga. What these bitches want from a nigga.
Break 'em off, son. It's the entity.
Dog, I meet bitches, discreet bitches, street bitches, slash, Cocoa Puff, sweet bitches, make you wanna eat bitches, but not me. Y'all niggas eat off the plate all you want, but not D. I fucks with these hoes from a distance. The instant they start to catch feelings, I start to stealing they shit. Then I'm out just like a thief in the night. I sink my teeth in the bite. You thinking life, I'm thinking more like what's up tonight. Come on, ma, you know I got a wife. And even though that pussy tight, I'm not gonna jeopardize my life. So what is it you want from a nigga? I gave you, you gave me. Bitch, I blazed you, you blazed me. Nothing more, nothing less. But you at my door, willing to confess that it's the best you ever tested. Better than all the rest. I'm like, alright, girlfriend, hold up. I gave you what you gave me, boo. Enough.
Just want from a nigga. What you want?
What these bitches want from a nigga.
Really want?
What these bitches want from a nigga.
Yeah. tell me what you want from me.
There was Brenda, Letitia, Linda, Felicia, Dawn, LaShawn, Inez, and Alicia, Teresa, Monica, Sharon, Nikki, Lisa, Veronica, Karen, Vicky, Cookie. Oh, I met her in an ice cream parlor. Tanya, Diane, Lori, and Carla, Marina, Selena, Katrina, Serena, about 3 Kims, LaToya, Tina, Shelly, Bridget, Kathy, Rashida, Kelly, Nicole, Angel, Juanita, Stacy, Tracy, Rhonda, and Rhonda, Donna, Yolanda, Tawana, and Wanda. We're all treated fairly, but yet and still, bitches is on some other shit. Now that I'm fucking with you here, but I'ma keep it real. What the fuck you want from a nigga? What the fuck you want from a nigga?
Tell me what you want from me. What these bitches want from a nigga? What these bitches want from a nigga? I'm keeping you up on it, bling blinging, all that jewelry girl up on it. What these bitches want from a nigga? What you want from me? Baby, tell me what you want.
Hey yo, I think about when a nigga didn't have, and a nigga told a joke, and the bitches didn't laugh. See, now I do the math. I see if you got this, and this, and this. To some cats, that nigga's the shit. And that's all they fucking with. But see, these bitches don't know. If these bitches ain't for real, these bitches don't go. Knock on the door, no show. I'm asleep, trying to creep with your best friend. Put it in, dig deep.
Oh, I know it's so hard to be.
What these bitches want from a nigga?
A victim of my reality.
What these bitches want from a nigga?
Heard you calling me names, said I was right. One thing you gotta know, I'ma be a nigga for life.
All right, we're good. I got it. I like that song. What the hell do y'all want from Ryan Cohen, CNBC, and Yahoo Finance? Jim Cramer, Michael Pachter, what the hell do y'all want from him? Dude just got $4 billion in the bank. Doesn't say a word. Doesn't give nobody no problems. But somebody's got a problem. Let's take a look. I've been chilling. I had to do a late night one. Hi Sharon, how you doing? What's up? Fishing with Shredders. What's going on? Thanks for joining. Yeah, man. GameStop's up, what, 1.12%? I didn't even know the final percentage of the day because I don't follow it on the daily. I do it on the macro. I've been watching some of Roaring Kitty, Keith Gill's streams. It's funny because he talks about this exact thing in his streams about buying at an inflection point. And back then in August of 2020, he talks about there being a clear breakout. Well, look what we have here. This looks like an absolute clear breakout from that falling wedge. I doubt that thing's going down. Who knows? But shareholder equity being $10 a share. I mean, the bullish case it's all bullish. The bearish case is fading quickly. You know, they had I'm about to play a Jim Cramer video. I usually play. It's just the hedge fund tactics. It's always good for people. My mind is straight. I'm up on the stock. I'm fully I fully believe in the stock. I fully believe in my research. Like Moran said today, I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I believe in the research I have done on this stock. And it's bullish as hell. I mean, you can see selling general administrative expenses are going down. Net income's going up. The media is going to tell you revenue is going down. But hey, there's a cost to do business. There's a cost to renew the infrastructure of the company. And there's contracts that we have with these companies after the so Ryan Cohen's big into e-commerce, right? I mean, there's a higher profit margin when you sell anything online. The cost that he's paid people or companies to do work after the job is done, they stay on board for a while, and you pay these contractors, whoever they contracted, whoever he brought along, you pay them you pay them months after the job has been completed just for cleanup, like cleanup crew, make sure the transition's going well for whatever new technology stack he's brought to GameStop. There are many different aspects to this. So the media, I feel like they're in their last breath trashing Ryan Cohen and GameStop. I mean, what else can you do? Yeah, call it dilution. Call it 4 billion in the bank. That's 4 times the amount of money we had before. No debt. What more is there to say? Young minds with bright ideas, and we'll keep shooting for the stars, and then we'll hit one eventually. Um, I don't need to hear from Ryan Cohen. He has all his money in it. He has 36.8 million shares of GameStop. He's the number one holder of GameStop, along with the number one individual holder of Apple stock. So he's a great investor. So if we do turn into GameStop, GameShire, Stopaway, if we do turn it, and seeing what Larry Cheng tweeted the other day about Berkshire Hathaway and how the large amount of their shares were owned by the individual investors and how they're so important to the growth of Berkshire Hathaway. That article was 2018. That's bullish, right? I like to see Larry Cheng's tweets right off the bat. I don't. It's not easy. Look at this. Jim Cramer's about to tell you the hedge fund tactic that you pump it up and then you slowly fade it down over time. He said that's how you get. Basically, that's how you get in investors' feelings to get them to sell. But we're not selling. I bought another share today. I'm going to keep buying shares, and I'll always say this. Thanks to Morantz, I always have to say it because he got me in the mindset of accumulating a share a day. And last week I bought more than 5 shares. This week I already started off a share today. I'm going to keep doing that. And I'm going to keep seeing my account grow. And I bought this whole, and one of, I don't know if I have it up here, one of Roaring Kitty's old live streams. He's like, all of this is great. He said, this is just, if you're convicted in the stock, if you have a strong conviction and you believe in it, and you believe in the turnaround, this is all accumulation, and that's what it's been for me. I'm in the positive by a lot right now. Not a lot, but a lot for me. I'm in the positive percentage wise. I'm not a bag holder, and I'm glad to say that. But yeah, let's carry on. Let's go on. Dark off exchange, 55% today. That's still a lot. Let's see. I have all these things ready. Let's see. Okay, this is starting to curve down. We'll see if we get our price spike, which I believe we will. But I don't. That's the best thing about accumulating every single day. I don't do any dates. I don't do any dates. But yeah, before I get started, I'm glad to make it on time to this stream. I had to go fill gas and everything. Run out, fill gas in the wife's car, my car, because I'm going into work tomorrow. But yeah. But let's get started on this. Here is the classic Jim Cramer, How the Hedge Fund Scammed the Market.
Welcome to Wall Street Confidential. I'm Aaron Task, joined again by Jim Cramer. Jim, welcome.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being here. There's a lot of economic data out today, but I want to talk about something else first. Again, today we have the misdirection from the futures. The futures pointing to an up market, and as of right now, stocks are down again. Is this just because it's the holiday period that we're seeing this?
A lot of times when I was short at my hedge fund and I was positioned short, meaning I needed it down, I would create a level of activity beforehand that could drive the futures. It doesn't take much money. Similarly, if I were long and I would want to make things a little bit rosy, I would go in and take a bunch of stocks and make sure that they're higher. And maybe commit $5 million in capital to do it, and I could affect it.
Sorry, just want to say this portion is a little bit long, but it's very important. Just to get into investors' mindset. Maybe people are coming along that are new investors to GameStop. I wanted to let them know what we're in for, what we're fighting against, and that it's not a lie. But regardless, it's always good to hear their tactics, their side, because we know their game plan. They have no clue what our game plan is. Ryan doesn't give them a damn thing. Let's go.
Seeing now is maybe it probably is bigger market now. Maybe you need 10 million in capital to knock this stuff down, but it's a fun game and it's a lucrative game, and you can move it up and then fade it. That's often creates a very negative feel. So let's say you take a longer term view intraday and you say, listen, I'm going to boost the futures, and then when the real sellers come in, real market comes in, they're going to knock it down. It's going to create a negative view. That's a strategy very worth doing when you're valued on a day-to-day basis. And I would encourage anyone who's in the hedge fund game to do it because it's legal,
Right.
And it is a very quick way to make money and very satisfying.
Okay.
But by the way, no one else in the world would ever admit that, but I can care.
That's right, and you can say that here.
I'm not going to say it on TV.
Well, on a related note, there's so many more hedge funds today than when you were
Right.
managing your hedge fund.
Right.
Do you think that does that exacerbate the moves, or does it make it
Well,
tougher?
you know,
'cause there's-
the hedge funds are positioned long short, okay, not just long like mutual funds. So it's really vital these next 6 days because of your payday. You've really got to control the market. You can't let it lift. When you get a research in motion, it's really important to use a lot of your firepower to knock that down because it's the fulcrum of the market today. So I mean, let's say I were short. What I would do is I would hit a lot of guys with RIM. Now you can't foment. That's a violation of
Foment?
Yeah, you can't foment. You can't create yourself an impression that a stock's down. But you do it anyway because the SEC doesn't
Right.
understand it. So that's the
There you go. Position. If you're position short and you need it down, you pump it up and then you fade it. You fade it down slowly over time because it creates a very negative feel, right? He said it's very satisfying. It's very satisfying to do that, which is sick because he's stealing money from everyday individual investors that work hard for their money. These greedy people are always out for money. It's all about the money, and that's what it always will be. They don't care about anybody. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. Some of these people don't even care about their families. They just care about themselves and their greedy selves. That's it. I mean, and he said, you do it. You see, that's illegal anyways, to create a false narrative, a fake story. You just push it out, pump it out. You do it anyways, even though it's illegal because the SEC is not going to do anything about it.
only sense that I would say this is illegal, but a hedge fund that's not up a lot really has to do a lot now to save itself. So this is different from what I was talking about at the beginning where I would be buying the Qs and stuff.
Right.
This is actually just blatantly illegal. But when you have 6 days and your company may be in doubt because you're down, I think it's really important to foment, if I were one of these guys, foment an impression that research in motion isn't any good because research in motion is the key today. So, you would hit this guy and that guy when you would see an offering. When you see a guy who's bidding, you'd wipe out that guy very quickly. And what I used to do was called, if I wanted to go higher, I would take and bid. And if I wanted to go lower, I'd hit an offer. And I could get a stock like RIM for maybe, that might cost me 15, 20 million, Annie, to knock RIM down. But it would be fabulous because it would beleaguer all the moron longs who are also keying on research in motion. So we're seeing that. That's, again, when your company's in a survival mode, it's really important to defeat research in motion and get the Pisani's of the world and the people talking about it as if there's something wrong with RIM. Then you would call the journal and you get the Bozo report on research in motion and you would feed that there's
He said, this guy, call up CNBC, Bob Pisani, get the Bozo reporters. That's who he is right now on CNBC, Bozo reporter.
Palm's got a killer it's going to give away. These are all the things you must do on a day like today. And if you're not doing it, maybe you shouldn't be in the game.
Okay. Another stock that a lot of people are focused on right now seems to be Apple.
Yeah, Apple's very important to spread the rumor that that both Verizon and AT&T have decided they don't like the phone.
Right.
It's a very easy one to do because it's also you want to spread the rumor that it's not going to be ready for Macworld. And this is very easy because the people who write about Apple want that story. And you can claim that it's credible because you spoke to someone at Apple because Apple doesn't
Right, they're not going to comment. They're not going to
So it's really an ideal short. And I would, again, if I were short Apple, I would be working very hard today to get that. And the way you would do that is you pick up the phone, you call 6 trading desks, and you say, listen, I just got off the phone with my contact at Verizon. And he has already said, listen, we're a Lucky G house. We're a Samsung house. We're a Motorola house. There's no room for Apple. They want too much. We're not going to let them in. We're not going to let them do what they did to music. And, I think that's a very effective way to keep a stock down.
Right.
I might also, by the way, because the stock at 84, 85, a little bit of capital, you go buy some January 80 puts that makes it look like there's going to be something going on. So maybe, give Morgan an order to buy 1,000 Jan 80 puts, and you go position limit with, you use a hat firm that doesn't know what that gets to. Maybe you go to UBS for puts. And you just kind of create an image that there's going to be news next week, and that's going to frighten everybody.
Right.
Then they all go out and say large put buyer at UBS. Then they call Pisani again. You have to use those guys and say, listen, I see a big buyer of puts, and I'm told that it's like,
It's a giant circle. You can see. He said, put in $80 put at Morgan Stanley, then go position yourself at UBS. Go find a hedge fund that doesn't know what it's doing. That's stupid. UBS, what's that company? Do they even exist?
like it's SAC, you would do that too. And these are all what's really going on under the market that you don't see.
Right, nobody else talks about
right,
it.
But what's important when you're in that hedge fund mode is to not do anything remotely truthful. because the truth is so against your view
Right.
that it's important to create a new truth to develop a fiction. And the fiction is developed by almost anybody who's down like 2% to up 6% here. You can't take any chances. You can't have the market up any more than it is if you're up 6. Because starting Jan 2, you'll have all your money come out. So
Right.
what would you do if you're in that situation and you feel like you're desperate? Is that you would do these actions.
So you're talking about the mechanics of the market.
Well,
You know,
the cash is much more important than the fundamentals.
oh, okay, well, but in terms of the fundamentals, you've been writing about how you
Who cares
think.
about the fundamentals? Research and motion just blew out the core.
Right.
But look what people can do. I mean, that's a fabulous thing. The great thing about the market is it has nothing to do with the actual stocks.
Right.
Now, look, over maybe 2 weeks from now, the buyers will come to their senses and realize that everything that they heard was a lie. But then again, Fannie Mae lied about their earnings for $6 billion. So,
Right,
you know,
Bristol
there's
Myers
just, it's just
lied,
fiction
yeah.
and fiction and fiction. And I think it's important for people to recognize that the way that the market really works is to have that nexus of hit the brokerage houses with a series of orders that can push it down, then leak it to the press. And then get it on CNBC. That's also very important. And then you have a kind of a vicious cycle down.
Right.
And it's a pretty good game. And it can be played. You can pay for a percent or two.
Right, and then do you get long before Macworld, the expectation that the
Yeah, because
iPhone is
you
going to be
drove it
good?
down.
Right, and then you go back,
Well, you
flip to the
totally
long
got to
side.
use the other side.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know, and there's a case where I would say the January 80 puts can be justified because after I've knocked the stock down to 80, I can buy a lot of common. And then you play it right into Macworld where they'll probably introduce the phone and Verizon's going to take it.
Okay. Well, maybe the fundamentals don't matter, but let's talk about the
Well,
Fed a little
remember,
bit.
what Wall Street Confidential is
Yes.
is not giving you the party line. Oh, here's the
Right.
party line, by the way. I spoke to Apple on the phone.
There you go. He said it. You have when your company is in the balance, you have to get into hedge fund mode, which hedge fund mode is do nothing truthful at all. Say nothing truthful. You say the complete opposite. You create a new reality. What is it? They hit the brokerage house, they knock it down, fade it over time, hit up CNBC, put out fake reports, and trash the stock the entire time. He said it's very satisfying. The only thing is we're not going to sell. And do you know the whole? Maybe back in the day, that's what they did. You faded it down over time, and you get people to sell. But we know better. We know your game plan. We know everything. You gave it to us, and you even said in that interview, you can say it here because it's not going to go on TV. You idiot! It's all over the world for the world to see. It's just the eyes that want to see it. It's there for them. Look at this, faded down. We're not selling at all, and that's why we have a giant breakout. This giant breakout coming into this pennant. This is crazy. It's going to be an upward trend. I mean, even if they knock it down, what are we going to do? Buy some more? I mean, we're going to keep on buying, right? GameStop could buy some more if they knock it down. But yeah, that just lets you know their tactics. Now we're going to see Cramer on CNBC. Shout out to Vinvid. He always supplies videos every single day from news coverage. But yeah, let's see. He's going to just CNBC. Like he said, hit up CNBC. He's on CNBC. Let's see what he has to say about Ryan Cohen. And Roaring
You want
Kitty.
to talk a little Roaring Kitty getting potentially banned? This is a
why
Wall Street
not?
Journal story.
Why not?
Morgan Stanley
How do you
obviously
like Morgan
owns
Stanley? They're
the
afraid of
E-Trade
losing the business.
platform, and they report a story this morning that says they're thinking maybe about banning him because of market manipulation. I'm not sure what grounds they
So
would
what
have
is it?
for
So I'm
it.
Ted Pitt.
Just look at his body language and how annoyed he is right now. From his body language, you could infer that he is short GameStop because he looks really annoyed that the stock is taking off.
You're somebody. You're the lawyer.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think? What do you think of this? It's Rory Kitty.
Well, like, isn't he can do whatever he wants.
Oh, but wait a
Doesn't have
second. I
inside
mean, I don't know. Is that
information.
good?
Can he- Maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad.
Well, do we have anything from the SEC?
He's
we're doing,
he's
we're play acting here.
pressing his own
Do we have anything from the
advantage,
SEC
which is that
saying
people
you?
follow him and listen to him. Fine.
You haven't heard anything from the SEC?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just let it go. I mean, because it's great for us. You know? Why give it to Robinhood?
Yeah.
There. It's a little play act.
There you go. I like that.
It's a play act. It didn't really happen. It's
No,
just the way
we were just
I think
pretending.
behind the scenes. I've been behind the scenes in these situations, and everyone's clueless. It's like, what do you think? I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. I'll ask my wife.
She's busy.
That's the way it works. That's the way it works in corporate
eating a
America.
Baconator.
People think that's like they sit down and what does Brandeis say? And what would Holmes say? You know, how about Brennan? No, it's like, hey, what do you think? Gary Gensler said anything? I don't know. It's good for business. Okay, next. That's corporate America as we know it. And yet they make us seem like it's real.
Yeah, no. My mantra is, after all these years of following everybody,
know the
but
truth.
nobody knows anything.
No, call your
Everybody's-
counsel. Well,
they're
counsel
just-
doesn't say
They're
it.
taking a shot, and
Oh,
when
no.
the wind's at your back, it's great. When the wind's
on the
coming at
one
you,
hand,
it's a lot harder.
No, I mean, I just feel like when I see that, I just say that in the end, there's someone in the room who just says, this is really good for us. And a lot of times that guy wins until Gensler calls it. If Gensler doesn't call, good.
What would he call about? What's
I
the
mean,
issue?
did you buy calls? Did you buy
Yes,
calls
I
and
bought
then
calls
pump it up?
before I
Well,
put out
okay.
a weird thing of a guy leaning
Okay,
forward
so
in
let's
a
say,
chair.
we do this ridiculous stuff where we recap what the hedge funds did that month?
Yeah, the 13 Fs.
Okay, so
Yeah,
which is so
means-
stupid. We should not do
means
that.
nothing.
Yeah, hedge funds should definitely not report what's going on. I mean, all he's talking about is the SEC didn't call, right? The SEC didn't call. Um, I got an idea. Why don't you get Gary Gensler on your show? Oh, wait, you did. And you're trying to get Roaring Kitty pinned for market manipulation, even though you're supposed to be non-biased, right? You're so annoyed that the stock is launching at that time. It was like, what, 50s, 60s, but here's SEC chair Gary Gensler on his show. You're about to see. He's about to try to get Gary Gensler to say what Roaring Kitty did was illegal, what Keith Gill did was illegal, and he's just trying to squeeze the words out of him. He's trying to say he's guilty of something. You'll see. And Gary Gensler wasn't really having it. Actually, props to him on that. Like he would not. Well, he'd get in trouble if he said that. He said it's an internal investigation. Let's listen in. He seems like he got annoyed at Cramer at the end, and they both used to work together at Goldman Sachs. He'll say it in this interview.
Let's try to figure out what fraud is fraud. Let's say I buy a lot of contracts. Like use random stock. I buy contracts that are options on GameStop. I then publish.
This is just a hypothetical.
It's totally hypothetical because
I see.
I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to really try to hurt anybody. Or
Why
anything.
not? Can't we just
Okay.
ask about Roaring Kitty? I mean, why
okay.
wouldn't
Well,
we?
if someone
Look,
publishes,
Dave, you ask about a specific thing. I just want to talk to your viewers for a second. The SEC runs a civil law enforcement agency. We're a cop on the beat, and you would expect us to investigate where we investigate, but we don't talk about it publicly because we follow the facts and the law, and only if we think there's something to bring in front of a court do we then talk about it
hence how
publicly.
hypothetical.
Understood.
Let's say you're Paul Weiss, you're my lawyer. Okay, I say to you, look, I want to put up a cryptogram. And it's of a chair leaning up, which we know from video game playing means, come on, this is the ninth inning, get ready. And we know that I'm a person who happens to like the stock of GameStop. This is the signal, come on, get ready. Is this something, hypothetically, that the SEC should worry about?
So, look, again, it's not so hypothetical because you're describing things that are in the public domain and the public is interested in. So, but
Runes loads a complete serving of fruits, veggies, adaptogens, vitamins, minerals, super mushrooms, prebiotics.
generally speaking, you have to make sure that you don't mislead the public and that you don't in any way do things in the markets that may be manipulative or misleading. And so that's the key thing in our capital markets.
No, the key thing is if you can cure it with disclosure. This is Brandeis. You know if they disclose that this is something that they a call to action, then you can't go after them.
Disclosure is one really key part of our capital markets. When you buy the stock of a company, you expect that they give you full and fair disclosure. That's, by the way, not what you're getting right now in this crypto field. So I just, cautionary tale there. That disclosure. But disclosure doesn't necessarily protect a bad actor if they're manipulating a market. You can't just simply disclose that away,
Okay, so it
particularly if
doesn't
you're
cure.
misleading the public.
Not cured. Disclosure not cured. Very good.
He's like, okay, whatever. Let's go on. Disclosure not cured. You're just trying to fight. He's like, very good. That's what we can charge you with. He was not agreeing with him. I mean, he said no. That's not really. He didn't say no, but he said no to Jim Cramer, and Jim Cramer rebutted that. He started off with no. That's not it, and he kept pushing and pushing and pushing, trying to get the words out of him that it was market manipulation, specifically talking about Roaring Kitty and GameStop. It was not hypothetical. Watch him move on. He moves on from Jim Cramer like immediately.
Can I ask a broader question about the public markets? Because
That's so funny. But yeah. So Gary Gensler's over here defending retail investors, right? Then here's a SEC video after the 2021 report that did show that the shorts did not close because the buy volume was not volume from short hedge funds.
We've all come to hear the general story. A stock that went from 20 to 480 and back to 40, all in a matter of weeks. GameStop, though, was just one of many so-called meme stocks that exhibited significant price volatility, trading volume, and attention in the markets this past January. Our staff at the Securities and Exchange Commission have been assessing the market events of January, and they've just published a report on the developments in the markets, both the equity markets and the options market, with a focus on you, the individual investors. Now, investing in the stock market naturally comes with risk, but the extreme volatility of meme stocks tested the capacity, the resiliency of our markets, and it gave us an opportunity to study how we can further ensure that the markets are working for everyday investors. I think the events lead to a number of areas for study. One, the events that may have caused brokerage firms to restrict trading and what we can do to lower those chances in the future. Two, trading in dark pools and through wholesalers where it's not going to the stock exchange when you send an order.
None of that has changed. He's just listing all the stuff that still exists today.
And the related payment for order flow. Three, the use of predictive data analytics to market to each of us differently through digital engagement practices. And four, short selling and the market dynamics around short selling.
You heard the plan, but the SEC wants to say that they're for the retail investor. They're looking into all of that. But then they go ahead and spend, what was it, like $30 million on this commercial after they call GameStop a meme stock, which means imitation and imitation stock, which we are not because we're legitimate, profitable company. They go and spend $30 million on a commercial to deter investors, new investors, probably people doing new research, trying to look at the balance sheet of the company. They come across this from the SEC. The SEC is supposed to protect retail investors, and the deterring investors from a stock. You know this is about GameStop. It's not about AMC because that's private equity owned. It's not about Bed Bath & Beyond. That's private equity owned. You know that. It's only about one, the only GameStop, the only one that's up, the only one that's at, what are we at? Basically 100, while AMC's at 50 cents, Bed Bath & Beyond's delisted. We're the only stock and we're holding our strength. And they go and make this commercial.
Welcome back, Brad. It's your investment.
I'll take meme stocks. Invest.
Ouch. Your investment, Julie.
I'm going to do some research first.
Well played, Julie. Well played.
You can do research?
Investing is not a game. Always do your research before making an investment decision. Learn more at investor.gov.
Says I'm gonna do my research first. Investing's not a game. Acting like GameStop is a game. This is no game. That's why you're spending $30 million on a commercial to deter investors. Moving on. Here's it. Hold on, wait. Let me do something real quick. I'm gonna go to this.
Again, assuming this is accurate, thank you for Justin for tossing it out.
Here's the old Roaring Kitty live stream. It just reiterates everything that we do, everything that we're for, what we stand for, and it's just showing that GameStop's still bullish as ever. This is, I think it's August of 2020. GameStop, he's talking about it when GameStop's around, what is it, around $10, when it took off up about $10. He called this whole area accumulation. He said, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I did all the research. I believe in it. I've been accumulating this whole time, and that's what I've been doing. That's what we've been doing, right, over the last 3 years. But let's go ahead and listen to the man.
I just don't know the data source. If I don't know the data source, short interest, I assume, because that's what I recall it popping out like when it gets to, I mean, some people have been saying this too, and I kind of agree. But like when it gets to like 13, 14, 15, then it's like they're losing control. I already feel as though if you're on the short side of this, you're starting to lose control. This is what I'm trying to get across in this chart. Like what you had in the fundamental thesis has been unfolding in favor of the bulls. It just has. Doesn't mean it's definitely going to go up 10x or anything like that. But if you are betting against it, betting on a zero, it has not been working out fundamentally in your favor. It just hasn't happened. And then you had the pandemic where they literally had to close their doors and you still didn't get it. And here they were in was it July with close to 800 million in cash, roughly 700, 800 million in cash. You didn't get it. So in that case, you need to control the narrative, and one way you can control the narrative, if you're short or long, is the price action. You know what I mean? Like if it's a bullish uptrend, you can maintain that. Just if the price action keeps going up, it can help feed that bullish narrative. On the flip side, if the stock price keeps going down, you can even if you might ultimately be wrong, it's still kind of contained. But this breakout, this is a pretty strong breakout. Now we have more. This is a weekly chart.
So what do you say? 13, 14, 15? It's getting out of control. Where are we at now? 100? So how far out of control is it with your swaps, your total return swaps? I mean, the fundamental thesis, he said, is working out for the bulls. Pandemic, the doors closed. You still didn't get the company. You couldn't catch it, right? It ran away from you. The only way they can control it, is price action, and price action does not bother me. As I said, and right over here, he said, I don't know if he said it right now, but he said it early in this video. This is all accumulation, and that's all we've been doing. What's up, Philip? Philip McIntyre, what's up? Thank you. Jay, what's going down, man? Let's continue on.
By the way. And as time passes, it supports the case that the trend is turning. You know what I mean? Like if I feel as though the cat's kind of out of the box. Is that a phrase? Is the cat out of the box? I think that's a phrase, right? We can use that. And I feel as though that break in even in the face of a market sell-off, you didn't get it back sell down. So I feel as though if it does happen that the shorts are kind of losing control right now, but maybe when it gets to that 13, 14, 15, that's sheer guesswork, speculation, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea. But you kind of get a feel. It's like a feel where it kind of feels like the bulls have tossed in the towel when you're on the downside, and it doesn't feel like the shorts have tossed in the towel. We'll get updated short interest information soon. What is it? The 23rd? We should get it soon, any day, right? Is it going to be Friday or Monday? Someone had mentioned it in the stream, but that will be.
There you go. It does not feel. Sometimes it's by feel, right? We've done all the research. It's by feel now. We've watched this stock every single day, daily. We've got a feel for it. We know this is all manipulation. We saw OBV. We just saw earlier in the stream, we saw Jim Cramer's hedge fund tactics. I mean, it hasn't worked. This is a clear breakout we got. Just like Roaring Kitty got his breakout, this is our breakout. There's no way it's coming down back unless it's like I said. I said earlier in another stream. Is this the giant retest of all time? It didn't quite make it down to retest, but just took off, and this looks bullish as hell, breaking out. Short hedge funds, they're living day to day. I mean, they make their money elsewhere, but for GameStop stock, all the XRT stuff going on with the initial the gamma squeeze, taking up GameStop. They had to shut off the buy button. If it was at $480 back then, you think I'm gonna sell at $480? Hell no. I've been holding for 3.5 years. You think I'm gonna sell for $500? Hell no. I talk pre-split because that's where my mind is at. But you think I'm gonna sell at 1,000, 2,000 pre-split? Hell no. I'm not selling at 500. Maybe I'll lean forward in my chair at 500. But moving along, man. This is just endless thing. Accumulate all day. It's accumulation phase. Here's just another fool. Look at this. Grifter. New York Angelo. There's no way like everybody that searches GameStop in YouTube will see this man because he makes like 61 videos in 60 minutes. It's crazy. Watch him. Now he's all GameStop. Right before he was all AMC. He started out AMC. Watch his AMC price prediction from back in the day. Tell me if you trust him.
For $9,857. Now, It's so easy to get your windshield replaced using SafeLight. Tell the people why you
Can't believe there's an ad on his video.
going. So what do we do now? Let's schedule the FTDs. But
43,000 views. He misled. He misled 43,000 people.
I'm not now. One AMC share for $9,857. Now go back to your portfolio and multiply the shares that you have in your portfolio by $9,857. I mean,
Yeah, that's all I'm doing. It's enough said. This is something I saw on Reddit. I thought it was funny, so I just want to throw it in the middle of it. This is well done to me.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? I was... Look again. Freeze it.
This isn't the Matrix.
No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
What are they?
Sentient programs.
I like that. I like that. It's so accurate. You're right. If you're not one of us, you're one of them. That's my attitude. That's my mantra. They try to push like Jackie De La Tits, right? All options, all other stocks. You're not one of us, man. You're not one of us. Yeah, the way they try to push options out to everyone, all new investors, they're going to bankrupt people. Options is not a game. You have to really understand it, and it takes years of trading it. It takes time to trade options and learn from your mistakes. I did it. Right now, I'm not wasting my money. I'm buying and holding. That's how I know from my personal case and others. All these people say they're making money, they're not. That's how hedge funds garner liquidity. The only way to beat that and beat the hedge funds over time is accumulate every single day over time, Warren Buffett style. But they're mad we do that, right? But he can do it. Moving on, let's see. Institutional holders of GameStop and hedge fund holders. Take a look at this. Geode Capital Management, over 4 million shares. What else do we have in here? We have FMR, Fidelity FMR. There was Geode Capital Management. There was also another Fidelity, which I don't think is here anymore. But Geo, I really wanted to do this talk about Geode Capital Management. They make money shorting volatility on their holdings. So yeah, they short the stocks. Even though it doesn't say put right next to it, they're short the stock. 4 million. I'll show you why. Look at who created Geode Capital Management. Geode Capital Management is an investment management firm based in Boston, Massachusetts. Geode was originally set up by Fidelity Investments in 2001 to run a systemic long-short equity strategies and incubate new strategies. Fidelity initially committed $229 million to Geode Capital. Right now, they handle about $1 trillion in assets. I think just under or just over. It's around $1 trillion, which was computer-driven as an investor. That's how they got caught in GameStop, because the computer went short on GameStop way far, too much. With Fidelity executive Jacques Perold installed at the head of the firm, Perold was later succeeded by Vince. This doesn't matter. In 2003, Geode was spun off as an independent company. A possible reason was to avoid the potential conflict of Geode shorting stocks held by Fidelity's mutual funds. Fidelity is known to be a conservative company, so they spun this off, Geode, so that they can short stuff and short the volatility of the stocks that they hold in Fidelity. Although separate from Fidelity, it remained located near Fidelity's headquarters on Summer Street in Boston. It continued to manage Fidelity's passive funds as a sub-advisor, according to Financial Times in England. That year, in 2003, Fidelity Investments hired Geode Capital Management to sub-advise on 3 Spartan Equity Index funds. They hired themselves to sub-advise themselves. Sounds legit. In 2020, it had almost 720 billion assets under management, with around 140 employees. In February 2021, the firm was profiled in Wall Street Journal, with the paper calling it Fidelity's secret weapon. During the same month, the firm shut down its hedge fund business following losses due to derivatives. At the start of 2022, Geode surpassed 1 trillion in assets under management due to the popularity of index funds. There you go. Fidelity created Geode. Here's Fox News. Huge losses on derivative trades at Geode Capital Management force hedge fund business shut down. I don't have to read all of this. They lost it on. Here you go. And then I'll show you. They lost it on GameStop, right? Then the next article I'm going to show is Fidelity cashes in most of GameStop's stake. Fidelity Investments sold nearly all of its positions on GameStop Corporation last month, just as shares of the video game retailer were surging. So they claim they made so much money off of it when Geode Capital Management, their creation, lost a ton and shut down. You saw Jim Cramer's video about market manipulation, the hedge fund playbook, basically. So it is what it is, man. They tell you that they made a ton of money and they let go of their shares, while Geode Capital Management is still holding shares over here, which they're shorting, because that's what they do. That's why they created it, so Fidelity doesn't have bad press. And another thing, look at this. NASDAQ Quality of Markets Committee. They actually have a Quality of Markets Committee. Look who's on it. Look at the members of the committee. We have Fidelity right here, Geode Capital Management, the head trader. There's Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, which is expected. Morgan Stanley, Virtue Financial. There was a guy. Here you go. The head, Citadel Securities, right there, Joe McCain. So the Quality of Markets Committee is comprised of the very people that short GameStop and talk bad about GameStop. And yeah, what else is there to say? It's right in your face. Hang on, let me check the chat. What's going down over here? Team 51, absolutely. Hi, Leapfrogs. I am real. Thank you. Yeah, no, I don't know any other way to be. I remember when I started my YouTube channel. I'm only at like 200 subscribers, which I'm very thankful for. That's cool. I always do it from myself. This is my financial journey. It happens that my financial journey aligns with many other people that have done all the research on GameStop. So it's cool to interact with people. Zoom out on GME, higher lows every week. Absolutely, Aaron. Small fry for now. I just stopped by to hit the like button. Got to get some sleep. Keep it up, Carter. Thank you. Can you please stop reading wikis as truth? That's true, but I just showed you that. I just showed you Geo Capital Management's involved in it, and you can see on their website. I just happened to pull that up. I did the research as well. On their website, it tells you their strategies, and they should. I got that verbiage from their website, shorting volatility of their long stocks. Yeah, I think I was watching Be More Invest Better. She's awesome. She did the math for the shareholder equity, and she's like, and also that Ian Carroll video that just came out, which, by the way, look. Let's take a look. I'm not gonna play it. But what the hell was up with that look he was giving the guy? He's probably oiled his hair, put it up in a bun and all of that, and gave the guy the look. What the hell was that? It was just so funny to me. I was like, and I can't even remember where the hell is it? It's not even worth there. That look. What look is that? Yeah? What look is that? I don't look at guys that way. I definitely do not. I have never looked like that. I've never had that smile, that smirk. But moving along. Uh, yeah, whatever. But let's see. What else do I have? I have Ryan Cohen over here. I just wanted to show Ryan Cohen. Hold on one second. I hear my son. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna play one song. I'll be right back. It's like 12:30 at night. I don't know what he's doing right now. Um, let's see. We can play Cream. We can play Cream. It's not a bad song. I like that song. And what was up with all that what is it that album? What is it? Once Upon a Time in Shaolin or something like that that's supposed to be released? I didn't follow any of that. I don't get into the fluff or the tinfoil. One other thing before I play the song, cuz hold on. Maybe I'll come right back and say it. 1 second.
Watch live and local news on a variety of networks with
Everything around me, green, get the money, dollar bill, yo.
I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side. Staying alive was no job, had second hands. Moms bounced on old man, so then we moved to Shaolin Land. A young youth, you're rocking the go-to. Low goose, only way I begin to G-York was drug loot. And let's start it like this, son. Rolling with this one and that one, pulling out gas for fun, but it was just a dream for the teen who was a fiend. Started smoking wools at 16 and running up in gates and doing hits for high stakes, making my way off fire escapes. No question I was speed for cracks and weed. The combination made my eyes bleed. No question I would flow off and try to get the dough off. Sticking up right boys on board. My life got no better. Same damn low sweater. Times is rough and tough like leather. Figured out I went the wrong route. So I got with a sick tight click and went all out. Catching keys from cross seas. Rolling in MPVs. Every week we made 40 G. Yo, brothers, respect mine. I ain't gonna tech now. Bow. Move from the gate now.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
It's been 22 long, hard years. I'm still struggling. Survival got me bugging, but I'm alive on arrival. I beat back the shape of the streets to stay awake to the ways of the world. Deep. A man with a dream with plans to make cream was fail. I went to jail at the age of 15. A young buck selling drugs and such who never had much. Trying to get a clutch on what I could not touch. The court lady should not face incarceration. Pacing, no one upstates my destination. Handcuffed in back of a bus, 40 of us. Life as a shorty shouldn't be so rough. But as the world turned, I learned life was hell. Living in the world no different from a cell. Every day I escape from jakes, giving chase, selling bass, smoking bones in the staircase. Though I don't know why I chose to smoke cess. I guess that's the time when I'm not depressed, but I'm still depressed. And I ask, what's your work? Ready to give up, so I seek the old earth. Who explain working hard may help you maintain. To learn to overcome the heartaches and pain. You got stick up kids, corrupt cops and crack rocks and stray shots. All in a block that stays hot. Leave it up to me while I be living proof. To kick the truth to the young black youth. When shorties running wild, smoking cess, drinking beer. And ain't trying to hear what I'm kicking in his ear. Neglected for now, but yo, it got to be accepted. That what? The life is hectic.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Yeah.
Absolutely. That song's a great song. It's one of my favorite Wu-Tang songs. Um, what's going on, Zebra? How you doing? I hope you're feeling well. You're doing good. I'm doing good over here. Let's see. So I did Jim Cramer, all his trash, how he literally brought the SEC in the first video. He was like, the SEC is not calling, so what's going on? So he called the SEC chair, brought the SEC chair onto the show, trying to get him to say Roaring Kitties doing market manipulation, right? Trying to find out what he can charge him with. Then we went on to what? Fidelity's deep and GameStop short with Geo Capital Management, their spin-off company. Within FMR LLC is Fidelity Management and Research. So yeah, their fingerprints are on GameStop. People are saying what they could have called to have the market halted, but it's more than just Fidelity. It's bigger than that, but they're part of it. My shares are in Fidelity and DRS and Computer Share. So that's that. E-Trade tried to ban them, or they said they were going to ban them. So whatever. Majority of my shares are DRS. I always will analyze new information with that. I'm always willing to change. Always doing research. Just going on. Right now, I'm going to be talking about Ryan Cohen. We're going to see the media before Ryan Cohen was in GameStop, their sentiment towards him and how nice and endearing they were to him. And then we'll see after how they talk about him.
The online pet retailer Chewy had a pretty spectacular stock.
Also, we since Ryan Cohen, sorry to stop it. Also, since Ryan Cohen doesn't talk too much, it's a good review about his mindset with business, his fundamentals, what he's focused on. So when people like PP Seeds go, now we're fully GME, right? When they started BBBYQ, Bed Bath and Beyond, those people are cheap people. They only bought AMC, Bed Bath and Beyond because they were cheaper than GameStop. They didn't care about fundamentals. They just wanted to get the most. They're degenerates. They wanted to get the most bang for their buck. So they went Bed Bath and Beyond in the AMC route instead of GameStop. While I personally am a genius investor, unlike all these short people buying GameStop and accumulating over years. But yeah, I was happy to go through these videos and review it before putting it up here because we get a look right into Ryan Cohen's mindset. And he does everything strategically, tactically. It may not be as fast as we want it to, but he's making sure it's going to work and turn around because he said it in the letter to employees. He's going down with the ship. All right, now let's listen in real quick.
Market debut, soaring more than 60% above its IPO price to $36 a share at one point. But since then, market enthusiasm has faded a little bit. Today, the stock is trading down more than 1% at $32.15 a share. I am joined now by the founder and former CEO of Chewy, Ryan Cohen. Ryan, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I know it's been a little over a year since you've stepped down as CEO.
Yes.
The stock, like I said, had a great start. It seems like some of that enthusiasm is fading. Do you think Wall Street's not getting the Chewy story right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't comment on the stock price, but what I will say is this is a business that's gone from $200 million to $3.5 billion in sales over the past 5 years. It's burned through roughly about $140 million in free cash flow, and it's continuing to grow. And so we have deferred profitability in the short term to maximize shareholder value over the long term.
How sustainable is that model?
I mean, the company really could have been profitable many years ago had we really ratcheted down marketing spend. And so we've made an intentional decision to really invest in scale and market leadership and build a much larger business.
Now, in the last earnings report, we saw that Chewy's growth rate was actually slashed in half year over year. Some investors are worried that perhaps the company's already peaked. As the founder of this company, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't comment specifically on that. What I will say is that it's a $70 billion TAM. Chewy's a $3.5 billion business, and I think we've really sowed the seeds and created a foundation that's very scalable and capable of being a much larger business. It'll really be up to the management team to decide how quickly they decide to scale, but it's early days in terms of its overall online penetration.
There's been some talk out there, I know you've seen it, comparing Chewy to Pets.com, really the poster child of the tech bubble back in 2000. There are some similarities, not profitable yet, holding off on profits as it tries to beef up volume. Other than that, though, is that a fair comparison, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is an absolute crazy comparison. I think there's really
Like, hell no, that's not a fair comparison. Chewy is dominant over where PetSmart was or whatever they're talking about.
Billion-dollar business, and I think we've really sowed the seeds and created a foundation that's very scalable and capable of being a much larger business. It'll really be up to the management team to decide how quickly they decide to scale, but it's it's early days in terms of its overall online penetration.
There's been some talk out there, I know you've seen it, comparing Chewy to Pets.com, really the poster child of the tech bubble back in 2000. There are some similarities, not profitable yet, holding off on profits as it tries to beef up volume. Other than that, though, is that a fair comparison, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is an absolute crazy comparison. I think there's really nothing in common between those two businesses. You look at Pets.com, that was a business at the time it went public, was doing $6 million in sales. Its product cost was $13 million. Chewy is doing about $3.5 billion in sales, and it's burned through roughly $140 million of free cash flow. So comparing a $6 million to $3.5 billion business, one with strong underlying profitability, really is not a fair comparison.
It is a crowded space, though. How do you differentiate, right? I mean, everybody's out there looking for the best price. It seems like lots of places, Amazon, the least of which, is able to offer convenience as well.
Yeah, I would say that, the strategy from the beginning is really replicating the experience I had in the neighborhood pet store, but doing it online and doing it at scale. And so, doing those small things like the handwritten holiday cards and the flowers and the pet portraits, really showing our customers we care about them, we care about them, we care about their pets, and we never want them to dream of shopping anywhere else for their pet products. And so pet customers are fanatical. That's the ecosystem that we've built. That's really the foundation and the soul of the company. And being focused on this category is a huge differentiator against some of our other competitors.
You founded this company in 2011 at the age of 26. You said you went to 100 different investors. They all said no.
Yeah.
Thank goodness you stuck to it. What's your number one piece of advice for entrepreneurs watching this right now?
Don't give up. I mean, I wasn't going to take no for an answer. And so finally I found someone that was willing to invest in me. But I could have stopped after 20 or 30 and, reworked my business plan or gone home. But that really wasn't, my MO. I was determined to build the largest pet retailer in the world. And I wasn't going to stop until I found someone that was going to invest. And so just keep on going. Eventually you'll find someone.
Tell me that guy's not a master at e-commerce and he's not determined. With that mentality, going past 100 investors that said no to him, he did not falter. He just kept on going. That's his message. Stay true to yourself. If you're convicted in what you believe in, just keep going. That's what he kept doing, and Larry Chang gave him a chance. And look at where he is now. Dominating them. Turn GameStop around. We're on an upward trend. This guy is the first thing he was talking about was shareholder value, maximizing shareholder value. He believes in that. He believes in GameStop. He believes in us, and he knows we support the company. Larry Chang has said it before. He said it's very unique to have so many investors, so much support for this company. Roaring Kitty said that too. It's a unique attribute about this stock, having so many people pulling for GameStop. He also talked about delighting the customer, wanting to replicate the in-store experience online. That's part of the transformation of GameStop as well. Let's see. Here's another interview of his.
Why are you doing well in the market? What's happening here?
Yeah, well, I think the world has changed a lot from the days of Pets.com till today. And so, the market back then was underpenetrated. People weren't shopping online. Today, e-commerce is a way of life. People were scared just to put their credit card information online. Then also you have the humanization of pets, and people have, moved up market. And so ASPs and the margin structure has moved up. And then you just have the shipping density, where shipping as a percent of revenue is a lot less today than it was in the past. And so we've really built a business where this is a category that focus is incredibly important. And so, we do all of that flywheel of fast shipping, price, being competitive. That's all, basically table stakes in e-commerce. But then when it comes to being the category experts, right, you want to know what's the best weight loss foods, grain-free foods, you call us. We know the product better than anyone else. We're the best in the business.
When you started this, though, come on, you had to have.
Let's pause that right there. GameStop is the best in the business. Nowhere else can you go get advice on games, different things. I go and ask for games for my son, what's appropriate for his age. They give me many different suggestions and excellent customer service. And they push that GameStop credit card as well and the pro membership. I mean, where else? Everybody. I was at GameStop the other day, and this, what was it? One of the employees gave a kid free Pokemon card, a couple free Pokemon cards, and he was like, "This is the best GameStop ever. That kid's gonna keep coming back." We have excellent customer service, unmatched. Best Buy can't do that for you. Walmart can't do that for you. Amazon definitely can't do that for you. And if you go to the digital stores, you can see previews of the new games coming out.
Skeptics lined up around the door, and not so many investors, thinking, Ryan, you got to be kidding me. This isn't going to work.
We didn't have any investors. I mean, I went to Silicon Valley. It took me over 2 years to finance the business. Over 100 investors passed. Lots of no's. You know, the demise of Pets.com, going head to head against Amazon in vertically integrated e-commerce. But we kept on scaling the business. It was just heads down, blocking, tackling, focusing on amazing execution. And I think everyone underestimated how well we would execute and how big of a business we could build.
You're still going up against Amazon.com.
Yeah.
That is a confident man, people. Yes. So what, because you know that they're looking at you and thinking, no, they're not taking any piece of our pet business.
Yeah, I mean, the vision for the company was really to replicate the experience I had in the neighborhood pet store, but do it online and do it at scale. And so, you know, the handwritten holiday cards from the beginning, the pet portraits, the flowers, doing all these things to really delight our customers and show our customers we're bringing a face to e-commerce. And within a category like pet, where customers are so fanatical, all of those small things just create this loyalty. And once customers shop at Chewy, they continue shopping at Chewy and they tell all their friends and family about this incredible experience.
But there are very low barriers to entry, and you know people are fickle about where they shop. If you just look at how many times people change their pet food, it's dizzying. Yeah. Do you worry at this point in time that, you know, yeah, the market looks like this year. What makes you think the market will be there next year?
I mean, it's just a game of scale within e-commerce. And so you need enough revenues to get to your fixed costs. You need enough velocity with your suppliers. You need enough fulfillment centers
and you think
around
you're
the
there.
country. I mean, Chewy has 7 fulfillment centers, 11 million active customers, did $3.5 billion in revenue in 2018. So if you wanted to replicate that model, sure, with enough capital, it's possible, but it would require significantly more capital than we had invested into the business.
Okay, there are some crazy things you can buy on Chewy.com for people like me with pets and spend way too much money on them. But we will continue to really track your development and also the IPO market, which has been extraordinary this week. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Are y'all tracking his development? Do y'all know what he's in? Look at that. The guy's a whiz with e-commerce. He knows what he's doing. I put all my trust in him to steer this company far into the future. He thinks big. He said he wants Chewy to be the largest pet food retailer in the world. He thinks his mindset is being the largest, the best there is, second to none. And people act like Michael Packer out here acting like he has no clue what he's doing.
Ryan Cohen, the founder and former CEO of Chewy. Great to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
What an amazing day for you it must be right now.
Yes, I'm very proud.
To see. So what are the thoughts going through your head right now?
It's very emotional. I was, last night standing outside of the building looking at the beautiful Chewy banner next to the beautiful American flags, and it gives me goosebumps. It's amazing. I'm very proud. It's a huge testament to the team, all the hard work that's been done. This was far from an overnight success. Lots of heart, passion, sacrifice, and dedication, and so it's amazing to see the company go public. It's a special day.
Is it a company that you built up with the idea of it eventually being sold to a major behemoth like PetSmart, and what do they offer that Chewy wouldn't have been able to do on its own?
No, I mean, for us, we saw an opportunity to build a much larger business, and the vision, from the beginning was we want to be the largest pet retailer in the world. And so, as we scaled, we decided we had looked at going public, and it was public company ready. We ran a dual track process. We ultimately decided to work with PetSmart, and we think we picked the right partners.
It's fantastic because from the reports that we've been hearing, it was oversubscribed, and of course the IPO price was above what was expected. The opening price above it was, if you look at the past couple of consumer tech companies, higher than the IPO price. I mean, Were you expecting this kind of demand from investors?
I mean, I'm gonna let the market decide what the price is. So I'm not gonna go there in terms of commenting on the price.
And so right now, stepping away from Chewy, what is next on your docket? Because clearly there was a lot of passion that went into building this company.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at lots of different things, talking to lots of different entrepreneurs, looking at different businesses, corporate boards.
A specific sector that you want to be in?
I like consumer. I would say that, consumer businesses are, probably my circle of competence. And so I think I understand those best. And I'll see, maybe I'll build another business.
And I mean, this is sort of in your
Laugh is gonna haunt them for years. Yeah, you see, I mean, he's an expert. He's an expert at this. He knows what he's good at. So he got into GameStop, consumer business. In the previous video, I forgot to mention, he said, with Chewy, you have customers that are fanatical. Gamers are fanatical. He talked about how Chewy could have been profitable way before, earlier, but they chose to allocate the money elsewhere to grow the business. And it's in the other management's hands to grow it as they see fit, to scale it up. He's a master at that. It seems like he's a master at that. And look at where Chewy is now. Roaring Kitty's buying in. Keith Gill is buying in at the tune of 9 million shares. I still believe he holds his GameStop, but that's neither here or there. Whether he holds it or not is not going to change what I think about the company because of this guy, Ryan Cohen. Look, they're all endearing to him and all happy. Now, let's move it along with Bed Bath & Beyond, where that went along. See what Cramer says. If he's trying to trash Ryan Cohen, in turn, take down GameStop as well with his interviews that he does.
Looking to do the sale. It's possible he's out already. It's possible he sold all his options. By the way, I'm not sure he has to file on the options at all. So we wouldn't know. Why wouldn't you? And shouldn't this be something at least that the SEC takes a look at?
All right, so if I were Chairman Gensler or the head of enforcement at the agency, I would call the council of Bed Bath & Beyond and ask if you gave approval for the sale of an insider stock. He has 3 people on the board, which would be certainly deemed within his sphere. So what you would say is, did you really file to sell or sell stock when you had material non-public information, which you certainly had because your people are on the board. This very morning, Bed Bath files a Regulation FD saying that we're pleased to have reached a constructive agreement with RC Ventures and are committed to maximizing value for all shareholders. It goes on to also say that they've working expeditiously with advisors.
Knowing they were going bankrupt, they put out this statement. You see his face talking about calling the SEC. If I were the SEC, you've got Gary Gensler in your pockets, so you know you're urging him to investigate Ryan Cohen. We know that. We know y'all worked at Goldman Sachs together. Y'all are boys back in the day. We know y'all are boys. Y'all go way back. Y'all run in the same circle. Yeah, again, urging the SEC to call and look at something to do with GameStop. He's only there to attack GameStop, and that's all he does. I mean, we know your hedge fund playbook. Here's another one.
Analyst Michael Pachter to discuss.
Zebra, I see you're in Florida. Yeah, I'm East Coast too, so it's the same time, man. It's late. I got to go to work tomorrow, but I'm gonna finish this off. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna keep going.
He has a sell rating, price is $650. Closer to that.
Punk ass Michael Pachter with his ugly ass smile, yo. What a punk.
You're right on the sell is the dream.
This man had a $6 price target for GameStop. And in B Moore's video, I think it was yesterday, she said if you're so bearish on GameStop and you talk about lowering your $6, you had reasons as to why you lowered the price to $6 for your for GameStop's outlook. Where are you? What do you have to say when you randomly raise it up to 11? You're nowhere to be found, and you raise it $5, almost double.
Dream over?
Oh, I think the dream never started.
You know, you guys have a documentary out right now. I think it came out yesterday called The Meme King, calling Cohen a meme king. He's the Queen of Hearts. You know, he was displeased and he said, "Off with his head" to Furlong. That's the CEO's name that they shall not name. I mean, it's like if he said his name in the press release, he'd be cursed. They brought 3 Amazon executives in 3 years ago, and they managed to. One departed after 7 months. I think she figured it out quickly. The other was fired after less than 2 years, and the third one.
It's called a contract. And people that underperform, Ryan Cohen has no room for that in GameStop. And I know you know that, but he's just trying to paint a negative picture of GameStop.
Was fired after just under 3 years. So Cohen brings people in, doesn't actually tell them what to do, and they don't fix anything, and they're gone. I don't think he has the first clue how to turn this company around. And the truth is, I don't think they can turn it around. I think that they should be in harvest mode, trying to generate profits on a smaller footprint, and they're just not doing that.
I mean, are they going to figure out how to be Domino's Pizza and not Blockbuster here somehow? Because so many trends in gaming are going against them. We just had Apple announce the Vision Pro. You can bet that's going to operate on an app store. You're not going to be going to GameStop to get games for your Vision Pro. And then you've got the cloud gaming and streaming happening. Microsoft pushing hard on that, as well as others. What's the path to life here? What do they have to do?
So Cohen's solution is blockchain gaming. And of course, you know, if you own a console, an Xbox or a PlayStation, you think of GameStop first if you're going to play a blockchain game. You would never think to actually go to your PC. The guy has no clue, not the first clue. They are Blockbuster. And
I don't need to listen to more of this. You see the sentiment on Ryan Cohen, how they're attacking everybody through CNBC. Fox News as well does the same thing.
And thereby
here's making of a meme king.
The
price went from the single.
Making of a meme king. I'm going to go through a few sections of it. Documentary from CNBC, right? What Jim Cramer said. You always have to involve CNBC. Always hit it to knock it down with their falsehoods. Create your own fiction. Turn it into a reality is what he said. I'm not going through the whole thing. Don't worry. We're not going to watch 42 minutes of this trash. It's basically just a hit piece on Ryan Cohen, GameStop investors trying to call you idiots, which we are not. And it hurts them so much that retail investors beat them in their own game. But here you go. Let's see what we got.
The meme stock phenomenon. You would have to ask the people on Reddit who made him that.
I invested in GME because I saw the craze that
I can't stand this guy.
was happening. It was all over Reddit at the time.
The meme stock crowd, the Reddit crowd, basically said we're going to all work together to buy the stock and thereby drive the price up.
The price went from the single digits to hitting the high 400s at some point. And my understanding was that part of that was driven by news that Ryan Cohen had taken a stake in GameStop and had joined its board.
This movement loves hanging on to a figurehead. And I think he was the figurehead. He was sort of the anti-Wall Street.
Knowing Ryan, it is actually a good choice. He is challenging convention. He will buck traditional wisdom. He will go after giants.
It felt like we were all trying to fight the big corporate greed. My name is Brandon. I've been on Reddit, I believe, for 6 years. I did not know what
I'm going to say it right now. Fuck you, Brandon. Paper-handed bitch. And you know why? Because your real name is not Brandon and you're a paid actor. We know that. And you'll see. You'll see what he'll say. He's they picked him, GameStop through and through, right? We'll see.
I was doing when I started investing. Ryan Cohen, I had started to learn about him through the GameStop communities, and I started buying more GameStop because I liked what I had heard. He was a regular guy that became a billionaire. Well, why can't I do that too?
He was supposed to be this great businessman who would make GameStop very profitable.
He came across that he was on the side of retail investors.
I think at the core of the GameStop movement, it was basically stick it to the man.
When I was originally a part of these communities, that was a big part of the sentiment. It wasn't just a bunch of people trying to get rich, and that's how I felt at the time.
They make a lot of memes about Ryan Cohen,
My name is Evan, and I've been on Reddit for over 10 years. They love to have him as God.
In a way that defies sort of ordinary investing logic.
Here's a pretty typical post talking about how Ryan Cohen is going to lead you to the promised land.
He's developed very much a cult following on Reddit. In their eyes, he can do no wrong.
His followers have concluded that he's a genius and they're going to keep the stock propped up at a very high price.
Buckle up, let's go. Ryan Cohen is a guy who likes to play it close to the vest. He might, put out the mandatory filing. He might do a cryptic tweet, but that's about it. What he's up to is anybody's guess.
His tweets are another example of the ways in which retail investors are looking
some sort of ulterior meaning in any of them.
It doesn't seem like it really matters what he says. It seems like the people that are his diehard followers are going to think that, he's always talking in code and always trying to communicate with them.
I think social media feeds a conversation. Things go viral, and that's just as true of investing ideas as it is of any other theory. The difference with investing is that real money is at stake, and maybe an individual's livelihood is at stake.
This shows how sad the whole thing can be. It shows someone a month ago talking about how much they're investing, and then 8 days ago they're asking if anyone has $5 so they can buy ramen noodles. This is someone who needs to be selling
all in to the
Who the hell is Brandon? Exactly.
point of catastrophe for many.
I'm just scrolling Reddit posts right now. A lot of these people who are posting saying they're willing to hold for the rest of their lives. I'm pretty sure at this point they want to give RC their paychecks directly. No matter what he does, these guys follow him and they turn anything he does into bullish sentiment. I originally would bet for Ryan.
Why are you so angry, Brandon? Because you're a paper-handed bitch and you know it.
Ryan Cohen, because I believed he was a man of the people and was going to take these companies somewhere. My feelings about all this started to change when Ryan Cohen, in my opinion, rug pulled Bed Bath & Beyond.
There you go. You have it right there. He rug pulled Bed Bath & Beyond. This is put up on CNBC as a documentary. A documentary. The board of directors did not align with his vision for Bed Bath & Beyond. He went in, he saw that it was doomed from the start, so he pulled his money. Why would he risk all of his money for PPC's pennies?
We turn now to the end of an era, another popular retailer going out of business, Bed Bath & Beyond.
Closing sales and kickoff today. That's going to impact more than 300 stores.
This is a good store. We're all going to miss it.
Everybody regulators try to protect those retail investors.
But from a moral standpoint, it seems a little shady. The problem with Ryan Cohen is that people believe in him and believe he's there to support them, and then he goes and does stuff like that.
Stuff like what? Protect himself, protect his money, protect his family? Look at the way this is ridiculous. They're allowed to put this documentary out.
Ryan Cohen saw dollar signs instead of doom. The e-commerce entrepreneur sought a total transformation of GameStop and found his way into the boardroom.
What can I tell you about where GameStop is heading? I can't tell you where GameStop is heading. It's not that I don't know, but I think that's best told by Ryan.
Ryan is the chairman of GameStop, and he runs the place like he owns it. He's used to operating as the guy in charge, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Ryan Cohen.
How else should he run it? Like Adam Aaron runs AMC? Because Jim Cramer is saying AMC has a good CEO over there, unlike Ryan Cohen, who doesn't communicate at all. Adam Aaron flapped his mouth for years and years and years, pandering to his retail investors, doing his sick interviews with no shorts, sexting 17-year-old Russian ballerinas, which who knows how old she was when she actually, whatever that ballerina did with Adam Aaron, which is disgusting of him, absolutely deplorable. He's scum of the earth human being, and he should not allowed to be CEO or represent any company. He should be in jail. But his poor wife, can you imagine This fool can't even dress. He wears everything too baggy. Can't get a tailor. Can't get a fitted suit. He's ridiculous. But Ryan Cohen's a problem. The guy that says nothing, the guy that says zero, nothing, has a whole documentary made about him and how he's a horrible person. But let's continue on. This is the last section of this that I'm going to talk about.
Not recommend that you if I were an investor, or certainly the SEC would not recommend that you take those kinds of risks.
I should have realized that this was all too good to be true. If I could speak to these meme stock Reddit communities, that you guys really need to be careful. If you don't trust the people on Wall Street, these billionaires, why are you trusting another billionaire that's not really seemingly being very forward?
I think that there is a want on Wall Street to think of the good guys and the bad guys. And I think that we don't know enough about Ryan Cohen to know where he fits in.
He has the
Yeah, he put all his money into a company they shorted into oblivion. Roaring Kitty showed you. The sentiment is going for the bullish thesis, you know? Positive sentiment. The bulls, the thesis is working out. We don't know who Ryan Cohen is. He puts his money where his mouth is. They can't deal with it. CNBC is paid off. That's all I got to say for this. Brandon, you're a punk. Punk ass, you know what. Let's continue on. Here we go.
You disclosed a 9.8%.
By the way, Sue Gove, what a punk. In her disposition, it was a horrible disposition, by the way. She had nothing on Ryan Cohen. She specifically said that he physically did nothing. He had no act that she could speak upon that that manipulated the board or threatened anyone. This is all just dreamed up by her.
Percent stake in Bed Bath & Beyond in March of this year and urged the board to adjust the company's strategy. In August, you sold that position. Why?
I have a standstill with the company, so I have to be careful what I say. So I'll speak more in generalities. My views of the business clearly changed, and I was highly critical of the strategy and the strategy in the letter that I put out. In general, it's rare to see a company go from aggressively repurchasing shares to losing a lot of money. And so, when I saw that and I saw the results, my views changed of the business, and ultimately I sold.
Right from the horse's mouth, right there. He got it. Views changed. He sold. The aggressive repurchasing, bad management. All of them were plants meant to tank Bed Bath & Beyond. It was not his fault. He did not tank the stock. He was just looking out for himself like any of us would do.
Whereas with GameStop, it's an
And here's Ryan Cohen just talking about GameStop and how underinvested it was when he took over, and where his mindset's at, what he plans to do, and what he's been doing. He's telling you what he's been doing, because you can see the website, you can see the app. It's fluid as ever. It looks nice. Let's go. Let's listen to what he's got to say.
known quantity already, and we've got a business and a foundation to build off of. But having said that, it's a foundation that was underinvested in for a very, very long time, and we've been working really hard to restore and rebuild that foundation.
So when George Shorman stepped down, there were a lot of speculation whether or not you would become CEO. You were CEO at Chewy. Why not at GameStop? Jim and Alan served as your CFO and COO, so we thought you were putting the Chewy team back together since they were placed on the GameStop board.
After Chewy almost killed me, so I didn't want to put myself in the same position in terms of just the level of sacrifice that's required to be the CEO having already done that is something that I didn't want to put myself in the same position. So I put myself in a position where I can be involved strategically, but not putting myself in a position where, once I'm CEO, with Chewy, and I guess this is just my work ethic and the way that I am. If I'm the CEO, I'll basically work myself to death, and I can't control myself. I'm an extremist, so I didn't want to put myself in the same position. I learned my lesson after Chewy, and then I have to control myself.
So your boy took things over. He's working himself to death for us, maximizing our shareholder value, which he did mention in the letter to the board in November 2020. He talked about how shareholders deserve better and how George Sherman, the guy that he said stepped down, which actually had to step down, because he sucked and was driving the company to nowhere, into the ground. Yeah, he's going to work himself to death for us. I would rather have my money with this guy. Knowledgeable about e-commerce, knowledgeable about the market mechanics, knowledgeable about all of that. He's a great investor as well. He's great at spotting things that nobody else spots. He's a contrarian. I'm a contrarian. Our minds align. I mean, he's smarter than me. I can say that. I don't give a crap. Smarter than all those people out. He knows not to give them any ammo. He's working his ass off. He's been doing it. GameStop's been underinvested. He's invested in the technology stack. He's changing everything for the future. He's very forward thinking, like way out there. You heard it from Larry Cheng as well. I just want to play this as a reminder. GameStop annual shareholders meeting.
I will speak briefly. My father always told me, talk is cheap, actions speak louder than words. My responsibility is making sure GameStop is run by managers who treat company money like their own. In corporate America, the people in charge, the professional directors and management teams, are not aligned with shareholders. They are always the recipient of stock grants. However, they rarely purchase company shares with their own savings. There's a big difference between risk-free compensation for showing up and putting a meaningful amount of your own money at risk. As a result, money is wasted, work is delegated, and a lot of time is spent managing to short-term expectations and pandering to Wall Street. I like people who roll up their sleeves and do real work. People guided by principles, not robots who seek to rest and vest. In corporate America, there's no shortage of overpaid executives, bad capital allocation and chronic waste, and serial delegators. Much as this behavior is both predictable and reprehensible, it is precisely what creates opportunities. Thank you for being a shareholder.
Ryan Cohen's going to pounce on those opportunities. You see his business mindset. You see what he's all about. He said he looks for hard workers, people with strong will. He talked about in that GME DD interview, will is instilled as a youth. You can learn skills, but will is instilled when you're young. He wants people like that. He said he looks for immigrants, people that were bullied, people that face adversity, turned it around, and keep fighting. He's looking for fighters. Who are we as investors? We're fighters. You, me, all the individual investors out there that do their own DD, that look up everything. Not PP Seeds, because that fool was like dust. He's dust in the wind, man. He just, what's it? Yo. Anyways, guys, that's my son outside the door. I happen to end it right now, but yeah, that's what it is, man. The guy pays himself $0, invests a ton of money in it. He's who I'm following. He's got the mindset. He's got the outlook. He's got a forward-thinking team. Roaring Kitty said it on his last live stream, the last one he just did. It's all on the management. This is the GameStop turnaround. He has said he wants to turn GameStop into a technology-driven company, the ultimate destination for gamers. You saw it in the interviews. He wanted to turn Chewy into that. So that's where we at. Guys, I got to go. Peace out. Have a good night. Peace. Can't stop, won't stop. GameStop. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you, Leapfrogs. Thank you, Asus. All right, guys, I'm out. Peace. Till next time. Look at that breakout. It's beautiful.